and we're live here. Gilly writes comics and stuff. Solo, a Star Wars a tragedy. Uh, I finally uh, sat down and watched Solo. I'm glad they had it on Netflix. So we got a spoiler rant today with Nelly, our guest, and we're just gonna dig into the story, what we liked, what we didn't like, opinions. I know it's been. What's your take on it, Nell? I mean, what did you hear about
Well,
Solo?
so
I'm sure we all heard already, but yeah, just
I heard a whole bunch from Solo, but it was particularly because it was the next Star Wars movie
mhm,
after the catastrophe of
mhm.
the Last Jedi. So
Catastrophe, great choice of word right there.
yeah, and the reason why I say that is because the fan base really took it out on this movie.
Mhm.
It actually represented losses for Disney.
Mm,
And I guess overall it didn't do bad. I think they made like 80 million or something like that. But of
right.
course, considering it's a Star Wars movie and all the money they put into making
I'm
this
sure they
movie,
put way more than $80 into
yeah,
making it with all the special effects,
it,
but yeah,
it,
so I'd say it was a loss.
exactly. So it was the first signal that the fans
Mhm,
were pissed off. And
mhm,
I saw the movie, and for me it was entertaining,
mhm.
but at the same time, even though Ron Howard did a great job with it,
Ron
it
Howard
just
directed that?
I believe so. The thing was that it just didn't. I don't know. It lacked something of the Star Wars universe magic. I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
had
it
it
lacked
been,
the soul. How
yeah,
about
like,
that? It lacked the soul of, oh wow, he actually directed it. Ron Howard, I'm sorry, I respect your work. You do a lot of great stuff. Just because they put you to direct this movie did nothing at all to do anything at
had
all
this
as
been,
far as giving it any type of vibrance or anything
yeah, but
remotely close to what would be considered Star Wars magic. That
yeah,
just
I
shows
guess.
you that even a director could get it 100% wrong,
Well,
no
for me,
matter
the
what.
reason being is because I just felt like the movie was. I mean, had it been 80s, nine, even 2000, like
Mhm,
people, regular people today, going through that type of action
mhm,
or storyline,
mhm,
instead of the little cruiser fighting, she like grabbing a car chase scene. Like for
mhm,
me, it just felt like it was like that. I
mhm,
was just seeing an action movie from today's,
mhm.
standard with which was entertaining, but when
Right.
you put it into the Star Wars whole theme, it's just like it was a great action movie, but like,
Okay,
I
listen,
don't
you
know.
you using words here I don't agree with. You said great. I gotta admit, I didn't find nothing great about this movie, and it's not because of all the backlash that it got. You got to understand that when I watch a movie, I dissect it for what it is, of course, but also taking into effect what we're dealing with. You got to understand Star Wars reeks of awesome characters. Okay, there's a freaking universe here that spans like multitudes generations. It's ridiculous. I mean, if you play the video games, you go into what's called Knights of the Old Republic, and they have a in-depth storyline that totally spans years, eons from what we know with Luke and the Empire. So it shows what you can do with the Star Wars universe. Now, when you think of all the iconic characters, Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? You got Luke Skywalker. I could go on and on, but then you got Han Solo.
Yeah.
This is a badass. Okay, he is iconic as it comes, and Harrison Ford cemented him rock hard. Okay, so when you're taking on that type of vehicle, okay, dealing with the fan base that is as diehard as it gets, you either play with power or you just fart it out and you fart out a piece of crap mess, cinematic trash that was Solo, and that's what you get. It's just trash. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You thought it was great. It was great. I need
I
substance
know.
if I'm getting into a Star Wars story. The action was meaningless. It was not even great. I'm trying to think of a memorable action scene. You saying in the beginning, the like little cruiser. There
Yeah.
was there,
So for me, as I mentioned, it would have been great had it been like a regular movie, like happening 80s, 90s, even 2000s, just regular people. When you throw it into the Star Wars universe, that's where it felt for me like I don't know. I saw it too much as a regular movie,
It
and
didn't even
and that's what killed it for me. That's
but
what
it didn't evoke the epitome of what Star Wars is. It didn't have none of that.
exactly
The only thing it had
exactly.
Star Wars, if you wanna go that far, even though you had Chewbacca, I mean, still, he didn't feel like it wasn't Chewie to me. It wasn't Chewie. I don't care. It wasn't him.
For
It wasn't him.
for me,
Han Solo was not Han Solo, not because it didn't look like him. It didn't have his soul. Do you understand?
let me just say that they could have gone with the guy that played Age of Adeline, which looked more like Solo.
Okay, so here now you brought a good point, and this is who we have on the screen here. This is the Anthony N. Gruber, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see Age of Adeline. I had no clue about this guy. Okay, Nelly put me to speed on this guy, and when I brought the picture and I started looking, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt like a little piece of me just die inside because there was potential there for Solo. Now, here's the thing. He definitely looks like Harrison Ford. There's no doubt about it. But one thing you got to understand, this movie for me doesn't
No,
smell of a origin story. If you look at it, it has ripples of what a reboot would be. Like if you're rebooting Solo, it
yeah,
because it doesn't even feel like so. It's not even cut from the same mold. It's like a horrible reboot attempt. I can't even say it's an origin story. Lando Calrissian. Yo, Billy D. Williams, the dude they had, Donald Glover, he's awesome. He's charismatic, but he still wasn't Lando. He's a thin guy, small, like
so
frail.
I
He's
felt like he
nothing.
yeah,
What?
but I feel like he did a good job as Lando. It's just that the script
Listen,
lacked.
the
But
script was
here's the
crap.
kicker.
He did a good job as Lando.
Well,
Watch what you're saying. I don't
no, but
even think he did a good job as Lando.
well,
For me, I didn't think he did great as Lando at all. What?
the kicker is that you could tell in the movie that they're planning to release like a second part
I
to
hope it
this
never
Solo
comes
movie.
out. I
But
hope it never
you
comes
could
out.
easily tell like they didn't conclude anything. Like Darth Maul at the very end there, and
Okay.
I do have to say one thing. For whatever reason, I was in love
Mhm.
with Kira, and I didn't understand why,
I know
and I just
why.
really liked her,
Now
and then
you know why.
and now I know why.
Yeah.
She's freaking
Khaleesi.
Khaleesi
Of
from the
course
Game
you
of
fell in love
Thrones.
with her. I saw her, I noticed her from the beginning, and I'm like, Khaleesi can't even save this heaping pile of dung. No, it was garbage. Are you kidding? Khaleesi couldn't save it. Do you understand what I'm saying? This movie was abysmal at best. You saw Darth Maul in the end? Here's
Yeah,
me clapping for you. I don't know if you can hear this clap. I couldn't even make it to the end because I was falling asleep in my chair in the middle of the living room with my headphones on. There was 18 minutes left. I had no investment. I had to do my eyes and ears a favor and stop watching it because for me there was no emotional connection. There was nothing. Nothing. The dude, if you want to talk about the story, right? If you want to talk about the plot, right? Look at the plot. To me, it was a convoluted crap of storytelling drivel.
no, it was
You
just an
understand,
action movie, a whole bunch of action.
dude?
That was it.
The
And
characters were not even great. They were cut and paste characters. Harrison Ford, not
yeah,
Harrison Ford. Woody, what is it? Woody Harrelson.
yeah,
What do you like? There was nothing there to even make me care. I'm like, oh, cool, Woody Harrelson, but like, there was still nothing.
yeah,
The chick Val, I seen her from Mission Impossible. I know she done some movies. She was like the ethnic looking chick.
yeah,
She was really pretty. I'm like, they had something going on, like, right? And then she dies, and it's just like it's almost like you just I don't know, it's like you lost a pair of socks. You're like, okay, let's just keep on going. Like, dude, wasn't this girl you in love with? You're fighting
eh,
for something, but you're
yeah.
fighting for it's like you're going for this Cerulean, whatever,
For
Ceralium, C4,
hyperfuel, which
hyperfuel. Let's just
let
call
me
it.
yeah, well, let me tell you that that already killed me at the very beginning. When I saw the introduction and I saw that they put hyperfuel, I mean, fuel is already a general word for every kind of fuel, diesel,
Mhm, mhm,
gasoline, or
mhm,
whatever else is out there, alcohol. But the thing is that it's just fuel. You call it
mhm.
hyperfuel. It just, for me, at the very beginning, it already made it look cheap.
What is this, Mad Max? Everyone needs fuel. It's the freaking you're in the future. It's Star Wars. You're in a whole
Exactly.
nother universe. Fuel has it's this value. Why? Because you can go into hyperspace real quick. Like if any ship has this hyperfuel, you can go into deep space with it at a whim. I don't know, but for me, it was weak. Okay, the beginning,
Yes.
how he meets Kira, how he tries to get her off, how they get split up. was ridiculous. It was just it was. Are you serious? This is Star Wars.
Well, just
The way
because
dude, he tries to offer hyperfuel to get through. They get through. She gets cut off. He still needs a ticket. What the frick? Then you don't have a ticket. He joins the freaking Air Force or whatever the Empire. Like, are you serious?
yeah,
Then they put him to do like infantry stuff, and apparently years pass because then when they meet up in this place with whatever the guy's name is, Dryer, Diver,
I
Dumpster
can't even
Fire,
I can't
Dumpster
even
Fire.
remember.
The dude that he's a freaking half-ass actor as well. That was from this movie Priest or whatnot. He's probably a good actor. I like him. I'm not gonna lie, but his talent was wasted there. It's like another maniacal bad guy. Like I mean, and Kira, like he helped Kira. It's like really, she just shows up. It's like for me, it was convenient plot devices which did nothing but aim to frustrate
Exactly.
and alienate the savvy Star Wars fan. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, look here. Well, okay, well, let's move the story this way. Well, okay, well, that's convenient. Well, okay, are you stupid? How they got to how he met freaking Chewbacca was stupid.
Well, let me
That
tell
was
you.
inane, bro. I'm like, yo, I'm thinking is
Yeah.
the Rancor they're feeding them to? Okay, Chewbacca's eat humans. Maybe they do. I don't know. But I'm like, really?
No, that was nonsensical and that was a bit forced. And
Are you
the way how they
kidding? Ron
cooperated
Howard, you
was
better
too
than
fast.
that. You
Yeah.
better than that.
And
Come
then
on.
the ending, you're glad that you didn't watch the ending because
No.
what
Tell
they
me the
did
ending. I'll
was,
just go on Netflix and skip to the last minute and just see Darth Maul because I actually do like Darth Maul, but he
well, they
still
made
couldn't
Darth
save him.
Maul look kind of like a Sith, and he's the one that's managing and training Kira, and Kira's like the evil apprentice type of thing.
Guess what? I don't give a damn. Still not making me watch the movie. Still not making me.
No,
The
it
only
was
way I'm watching it. The only way I'm watching this is if Harrison Ford himself comes and begs me to watch it. Okay, literally, him in the
which
like literally, Harrison
which
Ford
we
says,
all
"Literally,
know
please watch
that
this movie,
Harrison
please."
Ford is done with this character. Like
Exactly.
he was the one that literally asked to be killed in episode 7.
He's
He
smart. He knew it was turning into just
Yeah, he
utter
gave his
pile of
character a
uselessness.
dignifying end.
Even that was just the movie, dude. Like I said, it had nothing, no soul. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? This solo origin piece, it has no soul. It had no backbone or follicle of a semblance that resembles even a shadow of its source inspiration. That's Han Solo. It had nothing of that. Not even a follicle of that. You feel me?
yeah.
It was a joke. I feel bad that Disney released this.
Ah,
It's a slap in the face to the fans. I didn't know what I was getting into. Like I heard the backlash. I'm like, it can't be that bad. It's worse than that bad. It's that worse. You feel
well,
me? It's that worse.
for me, at least it was better than The Last Jedi.
Oh, The
Not
Last
much saying.
Jedi. Well, The Last Jedi had its own mess too. But you know what? The Last Jedi. I finished The Last Jedi, so that goes for something. I couldn't finish this crap. The only way I give Solo a chance, it didn't even need a chance. Do you feel there's so many other characters that could have had a better origin story? Did we need a Han Solo origin story? He's a badass. He's a rogue. He's a
Yeah,
mercenary. And if you remember the original Star Wars films, okay, the original, like the original, the debut, the original. There was a scene with Harrison Ford and Greedo, who's a bounty hunter, right? And the bounty hunter Greedo sees him at the cantina. He kind of corners him. He sits down at the table and he's like, "Hey, you got to go to Jabba the Hutt," And he has his gun out. And Han Solo has his gun on him, but he doesn't have it out.
yeah,
But Greedo's like, "Yo, I'm gonna take you in. I'm gonna do this," and Han is like, "Listen, don't do it. You don't want to do that. You put me in a corner. It's like And while he's talking, he's literally unholstering his gun from under the table, and literally when like before a blink of an eye, when it comes to that moment, he shoots Greedo point blank in the head. It was beautiful. I don't know if you remember that. Because
yeah,
you know why they re-edited. Lucas had this thing in his mind, I guess because Han was too much of a badass or whatever, or it was cold-blooded. It wasn't cold-blooded. The dude was gonna take it to Jabba the Hutt. You were screwed either way. He did what he had to do to get out of it. It was beautiful. It just showed you who Han Solo was. Oh, Harrison Ford cemented that character. He solidified it. You didn't need an origin story, damn it. You didn't.
yeah. That's for sure.
You even if you have this cute guy, what's his name? Anthony Ingleberg. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If maybe he was in the movie, but if it was the same exact cut and paste movie, it still would have sucked. But it would have been like, okay, maybe his character would have added some dimension. But you can look like him. You can Maybe they could have changed. I don't know, because sometimes when you have an actor, it changes a lot. I don't know if the script would have changed. I mean, I don't know, but
No, it would have been the same script, but I think it would have been slightly better execution.
it would have probably been better execution. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like there's something there, but the movie, out of all the freaking characters, you could have done a Poe Dameron origin story, and I mean, he doesn't have anything to do, but he's a more of interesting character. And you got Oscar Isaac, who's a great actor, and I don't know, you could have done so much.
Yeah.
You know, Boba Fett origin story would have wrecked this. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, anything could have wrecked this. We could have done an origin story on me and you, and it would have and put it in the Star Wars, coat, and it would have been better than this trash. Dude, I'm fine to find. I don't know how you thought it was great, but you
Uh,
finished the movie. I give you kudos. I fell asleep, dude.
for me, there was entertaining action in there. There was entertaining action, but that was all that was. Just you got to see it for the action, nothing else.
But that's the thing. Action doesn't make story. You get what
No,
I'm saying? When you
no,
watch a movie, there's more than action. There's more than action. You need
yeah.
substance. You need to
The
feel
moment
good
that
about
they,
the characters.
the moment that they described it as hyperfuel, you knew that the plot was going to be weak.
The only thing it had about Star Wars was the opening line. It is a lawless time. That for me was like, okay, you got me. But then after that, it just forget it. Then it just after 5 minutes in, it just got stupid. The
Yeah,
guy who played Harrison Ford, I mean, he's an actor. He does what he has to do. It didn't feel like Harrison Ford. It didn't feel like Han Solo. It didn't feel like it didn't feel
yeah,
anything. It's just like this guy throwing one-liners on it, but I'm not even laughing. It's irksome. It was
yeah,
irking me. You get what I mean?
yep, yep.
Khaleesi didn't save anything. Chewbacca didn't save anything.
Chewbacca for me was the best character, but I mean,
Oh my gosh, he wasn't
Chewbacca is
even a
Chewbacca.
character. He was a placeholder. What freaking Woody Harrelson? Hey, Chewbacca, you're coming with me. Okay, I guess I'll go with you because I'm just a Chewbacca. I'm just a big woolly mammoth thingy that doesn't have a freaking voice or anything. Chewbacca was a badass himself. When he disagreed with Han freaking felt it. You know what I mean? He had a force with him. You didn't play. You didn't just say, "Okay, you come with me. You walking carpet." Like really? Like he was. Come on, really? He was garbage as a character. This is Chewbacca. I love Chewie, but in here, I didn't see Chewie. Even the shower scene lacked everything. The shower
Yeah,
scene with him and Han Solo.
yeah, yeah. It should have been funnier.
If they had chemistry, I would have probably been balls out laughing. It had nothing. I couldn't. Dude, I tried to enjoy it. I tried, dude. This is the third time I tried watching it. First time didn't happen, and that was when it was on Netflix the first time around, and then it suddenly disappeared. And then when it came back, I tried to watch it because I wanted to do a piece on it. And again, I couldn't. I fell asleep within the first 10 minutes. So I said, okay, we talked. We said we're gonna do a video piece on this, a live stream piece. We're just gonna talk about Solo because it's a popular piece. We need to talk about it. You watched it yesterday. I watched it yesterday. I sat in the middle of my living room, dude, with the freaking blasting headphones. You get what I'm saying? I was like 5 feet away from my TV. I got a 60-inch sharp, high def television. I
Yeah,
fell asleep, dude. When I woke up, I'm like, okay, there's 18 minutes left. Fell asleep towards the end when this guy was fighting Kira and Kira.
yeah.
I'm just like, nah.
Well, at this rate, Disney spitting out Star Wars movies every 6 months. They should consider releasing a Star Wars movie only once every 6 years. Take a lesson from Game of Thrones. Take your time to actually perfect the freaking movie.
That's
Like,
the thing. Yeah.
release something of
Mm.
value.
Look at Lord of the Rings. When Lord of the Rings came out, I was like one a year, but like it's still like
No,
it
but it was
had.
planned for many years,
No, no,
and
exactly, exactly. It was a lot of work into it. Like this is like these Disney executive douchebags, right? They're like in the freaking planning room. They got their coffees. They're just all high up with their comeuppance and everything. Like, here, listen, we need to milk these bitches. What are we gonna do? Well, Harrison Ford Solo. Hey, he's one of the most popular characters. Hey, I got it. Solo origin movie, and everyone in the yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you serious, dude?
no, it's Kathleen Kennedy is in charge of Star Wars, and it's the whole thing of modernizing it. It's the whole thing of
It's garbage.
yeah.
Modernizing it, like I said, it smelled like a reboot. It didn't even feel like an origin story.
She doesn't get the essence of what Star Wars is. I mean, George Lucas signed off the rights. I guess he didn't want to do anything else because he felt like his story, what he wanted to do, was done. And
He
anything
had his
else would just
original vision with the original Star Wars, and then he started changing it, and then commercializing it, making things kiddie when it came to the Wookiees, not the Wookiees, the Ewoks, and
the
like it
Ewok.
changed. Certain things changed. Like I get it. when you're making that money and it's a hit, you got to make it kid friendly. I'm with all that, but to an extent, like you got to be true to your own work. And if there's people that enjoy your work and are making canon that's like really good, because they had like Star Wars books that once Disney bought the rights, are like, okay, you know what, this whole freaking multitude of books, this plethora of books that were written and were considered canon. Guess what? There's no longer canon. You're gonna have to buy books from our writers or from what comes out now because that's Disney canon. It just became like a joke, dude. And some of the stories that came out, written stories, are like some of the best stuff. Like they have a story with Boba Fett escaping the Sarlacc pit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of stuff. Like you have a fandom that is incredible. Like you could do a lot better. And
Um,
they're just milking, they're just trying to or
yeah.
modernizing, whatever they're trying to do. It's not equaling into dollars, it's equaling into a revolt,
Yeah.
a
All I'm
consumer revolt
saying
of a treasured and storied franchise that deserves way, way better than what it's getting.
is Kathleen Kennedy grabbed, something that was so important to people. Star
Mhm.
Wars is a franchise you don't mess around with,
You
and
don't
she
play with
she
that,
she
but
didn't and she didn't understand the value. She didn't
there's just
understand the
people
essence
in
of what it
position
was.
of power that have power that probably don't deserve it and just think that what they know better. Like
Oh,
what I just don't
episode,
understand the treasure you have in front of you with
yeah,
the Star Wars universe and what you can do to really, cultivate and just bring it out and introduce it to new fans. There's so much you can do with it. Keep the old fans.
yeah,
There's so much. I get it. Let me tell you, this is the most, you know, they're the most intelligent, fans around, the Star Wars fans, so they're very harsh and, it's good. But at the same time, they're going to be bitter at some things. You can't keep everyone happy. I get that. But I
yeah.
think
So,
there's better ways you can do it. I mean, there's
well,
this movie was just an example of how things can go wrong.
episode 7
Mhm.
was better, but it was honestly just a rehatch of A New Hope.
Right.
So it really wasn't that original. And then
It
the
felt cookie cutter like from the
Rogue
first
One
one it did. Rogue One was
was,
excellent. I think that was
yes.
awesome. I think that
So
type of Star Wars movies, I think you can just do ad nauseum and people won't be upset because what was it? Rogue One, right? Everyone died. It was dark, but it revealed like a major plot hole, and it kind of showed, well, this is why that plot hole was there from the original, and it made a whole movie around it, and it made sense, and it felt like Star Wars.
and that one was well made, but that was it. That was all that was well done. Everything else has
Mhm,
been pure garbage.
mhm,
The worst part was the Last Jedi.
mhm,
Luke Skywalker. I think Mark Hamill is the actor's
mhm.
name.
Yeah, Mark
He
Hamill.
he's a major Star Wars fan, not
Mhm.
just Luke Skywalker. But he's a fan, and
Right.
he kept telling everybody like that goes against the character. He wouldn't do this, like you
If they're
should
not
change it.
listening to this dude who made his
And
whole livelihood on Luke Skywalker, that's a sad sign.
nobody listened to him. So it's just at this point, I mean, I say Star Wars is pretty much done for. Um, I don't have no
It won't
idea.
be done for. It won't be done for. Some of the animated Star Wars stuff is pretty good.
Well, here's the
It
thing,
won't be done for,
Disney.
but we're on to you guys. We're
Yeah.
on to you, Disney. Like we're not gonna just support trash.
So
Like it's seriously. You need to really revamp or rehaul your next, Star Wars film.
yeah, and Disney is gonna release a new Star Wars land over at
Mhm.
Studios.
Oh,
Um,
that'll be a hit.
yeah, and people are gonna go to that. But movie wise,
Mhm.
the rest of the movies they need to be at least paused, delayed, whatever. And they really need to look at what the hell they're doing.
We just need no more origin stories. How about that? I mean, unless you're gonna do a Boba Fett one, and I can go for that. I'll try that. But you know what they need to do? I don't know if you never played the Knights of the Old Republic game.
No, I never did.
Man, you can dude, the movies you can do with the Mandalorian Wars and all that, and dude, there's potential for great friggin' Star Wars movies out there that doesn't need to be Luke Skywalker. You don't have to follow that. You can like bring out something new and bring new characters into it and develop a new storyline within the universe. But
Well, let's see what happens. I can tell you this: I'm not gonna go to the movie theaters to watch another Star Wars movie. That's for sure.
well, I'm hoping it comes to Netflix, but I don't know. Like I guess I got lucky with Solo, and even then, I'm just gonna fast forward just to see Darth Maul at the end because I do like Darth Maul.
It's just
Um,
gonna piss you off. But go ahead.
yeah, I mean, they'll probably will, but what could have been? What could have been? This is what could have been right here. Um, I feel maybe if Anthony Ingruber was Han Solo, I feel it could have been a little bit better, but again, I mean, you had a young Han Solo. He was Harrison Ford in the 70s. How young do you want?
Yeah.
You want to go younger, you got to go when he was like 12 maybe and show how. That's another thing. He's automatically a pilot. I want to be a pilot. I want to be a pilot. And you go to the Air Force or whatever, the Empire thing, and you don't fly, but then
They
you're just deemed a great pilot out of nowhere. They didn't
yeah,
even
they
hype
talk
that
about
up.
it. They
They
didn't
didn't
show
hype
anything.
that up. They
Yep.
didn't show nothing. Maybe if
It
you
was
show
badly
him,
done.
dude, if you show him when he's in his teen years, jacking planes or jacking something and crashing and surviving and craziness, but him still not wanting to give up and like, man, this dude almost killed himself twice or whatever, and he's still going at it or still trying to. You feel like somehow you're building up why he's this badass pilot, but you're not doing that. You're just like, I want to be a pilot. I want to be a pilot. Hey, Kira, I was gonna rescue you. So my plan was to go to the Empire as a pilot, and I was gonna fly back to your planet and get you. Like, why am I listening to this? It's annoying me. It's hurting my ears. It's trash. Ron Howard,
Yeah.
whoever wrote that script, even as a director, sometimes you got a crap script, but as a director, you can do stuff. You have influence. The director's the god on the set.
Yeah.
So it was just a travesty, a tragedy. It was everything that can go wrong, went wrong, and worse. And Star Wars fans, you deserve better. Disney, take care of your cash cow, man. You know what I'm saying? Take care of it. If you don't treat that baby good, the fans we know we're onto. We're gonna voice our opinion. We're gonna vote with our wallets, and it's gonna be bad at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, Nelly, is there anything else you want to throw out there?
No, this was
Because
great.
I kind
Thank you
of
for
don't
having
want to.
me over.
I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. I
No,
just
we're
don't
done.
want to
We're
talk
done
about it.
with Solo.
This picture's enough for me. I could dig this. This was nice enough. Guys, whoever watched this, whoever ends up watching this, if you want to comment, let us know your thoughts on Solo. Really, from the heart, let us know what you thought. I mean, if you enjoyed it, I don't hate you. I don't, disagree with. I disagree with you. I don't hate you, but I'm kind of wondering what's going on. But anyway, let us know. Let us know what you think Disney's plans are. What do you think for the plans for Star Wars in the future? What would make some great, Star Wars movies or some great origin movies? Shoot a line in the comments. I'll try to get to them. But yeah, guys, another episode of Netflix and Gil spoiler rant. This time with Solo, a tragedy. Nelly, thank you for stopping by, and I'm definitely looking forward to our next movie.
Yeah. Till next time.
All right. Take it easy, buddy.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye.